Last video I made, it was this unisex or women's type of purse. It's the first time, or wallet, first time I ever made something for a woman. And it made it to its second prototype, but I showed it to some people and they suggested I make a women's clutch wallet. So I went ahead and I worked on that. And I came out with this. And this is the first prototype, and it needs a lot of work. I found a lot of mistakes. And then, before correcting the mistakes, I kind of got sidetracked, sort of. But basically, the biggest mistake was it's too big. I mean, you can see here, it's almost 8 inches long. And I think it was too thick. I used a 6-ounce leather. They said it was too heavy and bulky, I guess. So, staying sidetracked because I will finish that later. I really wanted to take a project from idea to finished product, and I thought this is going to be it, but you get sidetracked sometimes and start working on a different project. So I did. And that was that women's clutch. And this is the pattern that came on. It took a while. It took probably about a day and a half to get that complete. And it's not finished yet, so probably another half day or so before I get that completed into the next prototype release. Anyway, I'm going to work on a smaller, lightweight clutch. I wanted to take that from the very beginning to the end, and I'm going to base it off of this design. And what I'm going to do here, I think, is take this design and I'm going to save the outer part. That's this whole one wrap piece here, because that seems to be fine. And we're going to shorten this, bring it in as much as we can, because there's some space right here, like about 1 centimeter, or maybe looks like about half an inch or so, that I can squeeze the wallet. And then we don't need 4 of these. We're just going to go with 2 of these gusset pieces. I'm going to bring this in. We don't need 2. This one has 8 pockets here and 8 pockets here, but we're going to get rid of 8 of those. And we're going to take this out. I'm going to put this on the back wall here. This would be like that. 4 pockets for cards in the back. And we're going to get rid of this guy. Well, this guy is going to go in the front here. So a pocket here. Maybe a pocket on the inside. Card pockets on the back side, and a cash slot in between. The only problem with that is there'll be stitch marks on the back, stitch marks on the front. This one's clean front and back. But we're going to give that a go, and hopefully that works out. Let me go work on the pattern first, and we'll be right back. Okay, so here's the pattern. I've brought it down a little, well, brought the width in a bit, and changed this pocket, and this pocket's on the back, and there's a little difference. This one was only 15 mil, the width of the gusset, but it had 2 sets of gussets on each side. So on the new pattern, I made 2 different ones. A smaller one and a wider one, I guess. A slim and wide. This one's 20 mil and this one's 30 mil. So this one's double the size, but I think I'm going to go with this one. We're going to build this one, and we'll save that just in case this comes out too slim. So I guess the first thing would be to cut out the pattern, and then we'll tape it to a piece of leather and then cut it out, punch the holes, and we'll put it together and see what it looks like. I'll get started on that right now. To save a bit of time, because this video is going to be long since I wanted to get to the end product, and normally it takes about 2 days for me to go from the beginning to an end, because there's about 3 or 4 different prototypes. I just went ahead and finished the design, and it's actually not bad for a first prototype. I'm still wondering about the stitches on the back here though. This side here, I double stitched the whole thing. This side I double stitched these two and those two and left that single. And I'm gonna need to find a way to just make it single stitch all the way across. I'm thinking, since that one is hidden though behind there, I can tie a knot inside and just go single single, then all of these will more or less look single. Second thing I noticed that I didn't like was that this here is too high. I think this closure should be down here a bit. The only problem with that is the length of this one piece here fits perfectly on an 8.5 by 11, a letter size paper. So I'm gonna have to lengthen that. Actually, I started. Here we go. Started looking at that. I made some changes. You know, let's see, where shall we start? Okay, yeah, this needs to be about 1 inch longer. It's here. It needs to come down to here. It's about 1 inch or 25 mil longer. Which means I'm going to have to move this down a bit to there, maybe. And I was missing some. It would be nice to extend this up a little bit here. You know, some of these punch marks. This was missing like 3 holes or something. I had to punch that later. So we got add 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. And this is kind of weak here. Thinking of adding a piece to give it a little bit more support. Yeah. Actually, maybe it should go all the way across. Because if you look like that, since this is I think this is 3 ounce leather, yeah. The button holds it down, but then we got these little floppy ears. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but you can kind of tell if you go this way, it just kind of sticks up. So we might actually make this reinforcement piece go all the way across. Still thinking about that one. And this, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it doesn't line up exactly. It kind of does. Right there you can tell there's a, this is the gusset right here, and there's this little tiny piece right there. It doesn't line up exactly. It's not that big a deal. You can't really tell. This side lines up okay, that side not so much. It's probably because this leather is so thin. This is a 0.8, I think. It's just inside of I think it's about 2 ounce, somewhere around there. 0.8 mil. I found out, where's that? Here it is. And when I punch the leather, that's so thin, and punch it through here, it kind of, since it's so thin, it kind of pulls it in a little bit, and it kind of throws it off just a tad bit, because the spacing is exactly the same from the edge to the punch marks, and it's a little off right there. This side's a little off right there, but that side's okay. So I'm gonna I guess elongate or extend or lengthen the width of the gussets, and maybe also these pieces a little bit, or just cut it bigger, and then as I glue it on and stitch it, I can trim it. That way the sides line up exactly. And those are the changes I need to make. Let's see. Yeah, I already started there. And I think the next thing to note is that if you're gonna make, well, if I do decide to make this part here, this little double piece reinforcement here, I think this piece and this piece and this piece, these two, probably has to match. I'm not exactly sure. The inside, any leather will do, and I think this lightweight 2 ounce is really good, especially for these card pieces, because they're pretty much exact. So if the leather was a lot thicker, I'm not sure be able to get these in and out really easily. So I will make the corrections on Inkscape, and then I will be right back. Okay, I've made the changes. For now, it's called the lightweight clutch wallet, but I'm not sure exactly. I haven't given it a name yet. But this kind of stayed the same. We added the extra punch marks here. We brought this down a little bit so it lines up. I think, yeah, see, this one's a little bit too high here. I think I extended, yeah, I extended this, I think, a little bit. It should go beyond. Maybe I didn't. And I got a little bit extra space on these ones here. Just gotta remember to cut larger than the main line, I think. Also on this piece and these pieces, probably have to cut outside that line there. Just gotta remember to do it because I didn't put the little dotted lines on there. That way I can make certain that it always lines up with this piece, the main piece. So, I guess, just as always, we'll cut this out first, and then I will punch the holes. These holes for the snaps, I'm not 100% certain it's going to work out. And then it's going to depend on what size leather I choose. The thicker the leather, the more space it's going to take to go around the turns. So it's got to bend here and it's got to bend here. So the thicker it is, the longer this main piece has to be to line up here. So I've lengthened this by 1 inch. So I've also moved this. Okay, I didn't move this. Where is the original? Where is the original one? Here. I did. I moved this down 1 inch, and I moved this. I lengthened the whole piece by 1 inch. So I'm hoping it's gonna line up. I'm not 100% certain, but off to making prototype number 2. I'm gonna cut this out. I'm gonna tape it to the leather, and then I'm gonna punch out all the holes. I'm not 100% certain I'm gonna make this piece here because it's just a prototype, but I've included it here. And just gotta remember, if I'm gonna make this piece, I also have to make, what is it, this piece match the same color. So I will get started on that right now, and we should see where we end up. first step, I would imagine, would be to put this in before I forget, because this is going over that, and it would be more difficult to put that in later. So put this in and put this in. This is going over that. No. I think I want the I think I want the button to show. I'm not sure yet. I gotta think about that one later. I think I want the button to show, but I'm not 100% positive on that one. I will go put this in and this in, and I'll be back. Okay, that is in. I think I will. This is a prototype. I will put that on to see how that looks. My problem is that this is quite thick. And I wanted it matching. I mean, if I could use this 1 mil or 0.8 mil for the sides, it would be better. Because this is 1.8, so that's, that's 4 to 5 ounces. Ooh, that's thick. This is a 1.4, so this is a 3 to 4 ounce. I'm worried that I'm a bit worried that because the temper on this feels pretty firm. I mean, you're looking at that 7. Okay, the temper on this is about an 8. And it's thinner than this, and it feels similar. Anyway, since this is prototype number 2, we're going to put this on and put that there because I think it matching would be better. If this turns out to be too stiff, then, well, it's just prototype number 2. So I need to glue this on, transfer those holes over, put those in, and then glue this here. Oh no, we got to put this one on first, stitch those, glue that down, then glue this down, stitch that down. Actually, no, it's not correct. I glue that on. Glue this on and stitch only this one and this one up to there. Yeah, only up to here. I'm gonna forget, but that's what I have to do. Then we put this guy, oh, wrong side. Put this guy on here and only stitch this up to there. We'll do that and then we'll be right back.